Hey guys, welcome back to another video. We just finished a league challenge at Gamer's Edge in East Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. We have Alex here. And Alex, what were you playing today?
Today I was playing Gholdengo EX with a Curlia engine. So this deck consisted of a 4/4 line of Gholdengo Gimme Ghouls, and then you would want a 3/3 Curlia Ralts. This is the main engine of the deck. Gholdengo, you have coin bonus to be able to draw extra cards. Curlia as well, discard, draw 2, just to be able to turbo through your entire deck and draw everything as fast as you possibly can. Gholdengo is going to be your main attacker as well with Make It Rain, of doing 50x the amount of energy you discard. So that's the main attacker of everything.
I do really dig the Ralts and Curlia combo.
Yeah, I like it as well. It's helped out a lot. And then for some few tech cards, we have Radiant Greninja as well with a similar ability as Curlia with Refinement, but we have concealed cards, discard an energy, and draw 2, as well as Jirachi and Manaphy for certain matchups. Like Lost Box helps out a lot as well with these two guys. So be able to discard energy, just all about discarding energy and getting it back. And then for supporter lines, we are running 4 copies of Tulip, which is put up to 4 of any combination of Psychic Pokemon and Psychic Energy from your discard pile into your hands. And we have 3 Boss's Orders, 2 Iridas, 1 Worker, and 1 Roxanne.
How do you feel about just playing one worker, with doing Path to the Peak running around still?
Path to the Peak right now, since it's going to be rotating fairly soon, right? Because that's E, right?
Yep.
So with Path to the Peak rotating out, I feel a little bit more confident with only running 1 worker, since all it does is just discard a stadium, draw 3 cards and everything. Not a lot of times I've ran into Path to the Peak. It does hinder this deck a lot, since everything is based around abilities, and everything except for the Curlias that you are running abilities with have a rule box, so it does shut half your deck down basically.
Yeah. I used to play this deck when it first came out, and I definitely feel like it really stinks to play against.
Yeah, I feel like right now as well, the meta has sort of shifted more towards off of Lost Box over towards Charizard as well.
Yeah.
So not a lot of times will you see Lost Box. It still does happen, but you can slim down the worker from 2 or however many you want to run to 1. Other cards like Irida as well help you get out your Greninja, possibly Manaphy if you need that, and an item card, so you can get out any of the item cards that you need, which are up next. And then, of course, Boss's Orders as well, just because it's Boss's Orders. Every deck is going to be running that. And then Roxanne, in case you're behind and you need to shuffle your hand back in and hinder your opponent as well, since they are just getting all of their prizes. For item cards, we're going to be running 4 Superior Energy Retrievals, 3 Earthen Vessels, 4 Battle VIP Passes, 3 Nest Balls, 3 of the Level Balls, 2 Ultra Balls, and then of course other cards that can't really fit now, but we have 2 Lost Vacuums in there, and a switch. The 4 Superior Energy Retrievals, since we're going to be discarding energy a lot because of Gholdengo, discarding 1 50x for each one you discard, we're going to need to get all those energies back, so that's why we're running the 4 Tulips, the 4 Superior Energy Retrievals, and then of course we need to get energy in our hand as well, which is Earthen Vessel, discard 1 card from your hand as well, along with Earthen Vessel, and you get 2 basic energy cards, and just put them in your hand, so this helps out a lot as well. Nest Balls for setup, VIP passes as well for your bench setup, Ultra Balls to get out any of the Gholdengos that you possibly need, Level Balls as well to get out any of the Curlias for the searches. And a lot of times as well, VIP passes, it's a very hit or miss card a lot of times, since it only works on the first turn. But since we're running a lot of cards that discard cards as well, like Superior Energy Retrievals, you need to discard 2, as well as Ultra Ball discard 2. And on top of that, you have cards like Curlia that you can use just to get rid of out of your hand. You're like, oh, well, VIP passes dead card. I can't use this anymore, like down turn 4 or whatever in the game. You just get rid of it, draw, or whatever you want to do with it.
Yeah, definitely. You have all that discard fodder. It's really good opening it up, and then you have discard fodder later on for your retrievals or vessels or whatever else.
And then, of course, we have, like I said, the 2 Lost Vacuums as well, which are the 2 other cards to help out against Path to the Peak with Lost Box or whatever else is going to be running it. Just discard 1 card, get rid of a tool attached to any Pokemon or a stadium, which you're always going to be targeting the Path to the Peak, since that's all you're really going to be needing it for, unless your opponent is playing some weird, funky tool that they could possibly have. And then as well as just the 1 extra switch, just in case you need to get out of the active if you're playing up against, like, Snorlax stall or anything where it's locking your active and they're just like, you're stuck, you can't get out of there, That happened to me today, so.
Oh, I know, man.
Yeah.
I played it first round. It was loads of fun.
Absolutely. So we're doing all of that, and then the energy is where it gets even a little bit more funky. For energy-wise, we're going to be doing 4 steel energy, only the steel, since even though your main attacker is Gholdengo and he's a steel type, scaling off of using steel to attack, we're going to be doing 4 of the psychic, or 6 of the psychic energy, my mistake, solely because of our 1 main supporter that we're running 4 copies of, which is Tulip, just so we're able to get 4 consistent energies back that we're discarding. So as long as you're able to get your energy in your discard and use Tulip, or draw your energy and then at a later turn draw Tulip after you attack, you're able to essentially just, hey, get rid of these 4 energies off an attack and like maybe 2 others as well, whatever the combination is, to get them into your discard, and then just Tulip them back, as well as you can also use Superior Energy Retrieval to also get everything back. So essentially your bench is going to be looking like this, just Gholdengo in the active with 1 steel attached at least, and then just draw with all your abilities that you have out with Kirlia, Gholdengo, Radiant Greninja. Get as much energy in your hand as you can, swing everything with the discard attack with Make It Rain, discard all your energy that you have, however many you need. Like Charizard, you'll need 7. A lot of other matchups, you'll need like 5 at least, typically. And then Tulip gets you at least halfway there. And you can either draw the rest if it's still early in the game and there isn't many in the discard, or you can just superior the rest of them into your hand. And yeah, that's typically the whole point of the deck, is just draw as much as you can with your abilities, counter Path to the Peak, get all your energy in hand, discard all your energy, recycle them back with all your Tulips, Superiors, and whatever else you need.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun deck, and I know a lot of people, like when the deck first came out, we were playing mono steel for a while, and then when everybody hyped on, jumped on the bandwagon when an individual topped with the water version with Palkia in it and Radiant Greninja, and now we see here, there's a psychic variant, which is pretty neat to see. Come rotation, are you looking to change anything?
Yeah, I am.
Or even
gonna
after
be,
just this tournament, would you change anything?
After this tournament, I would typically, since the only cards that are going to be rotating out of this deck is going to be the VIP passes and the level balls are going to be the 2 biggest things that are going to be taking a hit to this deck. Obviously, everyone's getting hit with the VIP passes. It's running like 90% of the decks right now, so getting all of those basics out on your turn 1 and using them as discard fodder is going to be very much a hindrance to you. And then the level balls is probably, in my opinion, the biggest blow to this deck, since it's just the best way to get out your Kirlias. Now there isn't as much of a consistent way to get out your Kirlia other than to draw into them or use Ultra Ball. If I were to swap these cards out, I would definitely swap them out probably for at least another Nest Ball, since we're only running 3, and then possibly just 2 other Ultra Balls, and then see if there's anything else in future sets that get released that we can fill up those extra slots, or possibly an extra 1/1 of Ralts Kirlia, since it's only a 3/3 line. That would probably be the most immediate change that I would do to this list, just to fill in those empty slots that are going to be happening, since we're losing like 7 cards, 8 cards typically.
Alright, man.
So that's what I would use.
You want to tell us what your matchups were today?
Matchups were, my first match I went against, what did I go against actually? I actually don't remember what the first one was. I know first one, I don't remember. I went against Snorlax Stall, then I went up against Charizard with Pidgeot, that was like, I feel like that's one of the biggest coin flips in this list as well, is with Charizard EX as well as Lost Box is a very hit or miss type of matchup. It can really go either way. If your opponent is hitting their cards, like with Charizard, if they're able to get out Charizard turn 2, set up as well with Pidgeot or whatever else they need, you're going to be behind if you're kind of stuck, since it is just like a major coin flip with those matchups. As well as Snorlax is also just very much a tough matchup as well, because you're just going to be draw pass, and like with all your abilities in play, with all being able to just draw your entire deck, you're not going to want to draw your deck against Snorlax. You're just going to be sitting there like, well, I don't do anything and I can't attack. And yeah, you're essentially just playing for time, or just playing let's see how long this will take until I mill myself out, because you're already going to be at 20 cards left in deck by that point. By the time you're they're just at the stall already, which is already done, and then you're already going to be trying to set yourself up. They're already going to be ready by turn 2, turn 3, or whatever. And yeah, it's going to be that. And then I went up against Lost Box as well, which I got very lucky in that matchup, since they just could not draw their path to the peak at all. And even when they did, the game was already kind of finished. I was already at 1 prize left. And you typically just, in that type of matchup, you just want to get rid of the Giratina as much as you physically can, before they can get to their V-Star. So just boss orders them up right away, get your energy back in your hand however you can, or in your hand however you can, and just get rid of that Giratina. Because once that Giratina sets up for V-Star, you're kind of just dead at that point, because then you take a trade, and then you now have to send up your other Gholdengo if you have one, return trade, and then they'll just have all their other little guys that you're only taking 1 prize trade for, and it's just not really worth it. So that's typically how the matchups go. It's all about who really can set up first. This deck is very fast if you're able to set up really quick. If you're able to set up your Gholdengos, which you can typically do by turn 2, turn 3, as well as with Curlies and stuff, and then you'll have consistent draw every single turn. If you get Ionoed, doesn't matter. You have Gholdengo, draw 2, Refinement to draw 2, Radiant Greninja as well to draw 2. You'll have everything to be consistent enough to draw stuff back. So you don't even need cards like Professor's Research, Iono in here. You only need cards for the Tulips, the Roxannes, and
build your bigger hand.
Yeah, just to build a bigger hand and everything, to draw yourself into what you need. Because you're typically, by the time you're set up, the only thing you're going to be looking for are Tulips and Superior Energy Retrievals and Earther Vessels. Those are the 3 main cards you're going to be drawing for. And then once you draw them, you're all right, I'm good. And then you're typically just pretty much set from there after you get everything set up.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
For the deck problem. Thanks, Alex. And until next time, guys. Peace.
See ya.